Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation Regimental Combat Team, turn 8.5, Commonwealth. It is January 1940. The Commonwealth has 2 tech rolls. First I tried for radar at a 7 or higher, PB generated a 5, so I succeeded and I advanced to stage 2 with a tech. Second, I tried for anti-submarine warfare, PB generated a 3, so I failed. Let's go to purchases. Great Britain has 28 IPP to spend. I will upgrade 1 militia to an infantry for 2, purchase 2 militia for 4, that's 6, 3 infantry for 9, that's 15, 1 colonial infantry for 4, that's 19, 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, that's 23, and I will begin construction of a fortification on the border of Lower Egypt and Western Egypt for 5, that's 28. FEC has 15 IPP to spend. I'll get 5 militia for 10 and 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4. That's 14, so I'll save 1 IPP. ANZAC has 7 IPP to spend. I'll purchase 2 militia for 4 and 1 infantry for 3. That brings me to 7. Previewing the Free French, they have 4 IPP. They will get 2 militia. Let's look at a little housekeeping here. Down here in C-Zone P60, there is a Dutch coastal submarine. On 8.4, Sergeant Shellhole moved a naval transport in here. This sub wasn't here at the time, and this coastal sub could have just elected to fight it in 1 round of combat and eliminate it. But we decided not to do that to Sergeant Shellhole since he's learning the game, and he didn't have to do that. He could wait to get his units together and then move them in a group into the Java Sea. I did try to interdict that group, which was the naval transport, a destroyer carrying a marine, another destroyer not carrying anything, and I feel like there was and this submarine. So he had 4 units, and I see that seaplane there, so I said, oh, well, okay, let's just try it. But PBE missed with everything. The first, since I don't have a destroyer, this submarine got a first strike against me. He missed. I think he rolled a 6. Then I missed. I rolled a 9. The unloaded destroyer rolled a 9, and the loaded destroyer rolled a 4, which is an interesting rule. That normally that would be a hit, but in I think version 4.2, if a destroyer is carrying infantry, then it goes down 1 in combat effectiveness, so it barely missed. Anyway, that's what happened there. Okay, combat movement. So I reached out to Hambone about these moves. I'm going to be moving the British Navy through here in M2, and I asked him if he wanted to declare war on me. He did not. I'm going to be moving some units through here in C-Zone A28. I believe he was joking around, and I don't think he intends to do anything there. But if he does want to fight me there in A28, we can definitely PBE it. It's sometimes easier just to see the other guy's turn and decide if you want to PBE. So Hambone, you just let me know if you do want to let me know, or if you do want to engage in combat. So let's start down here in M2 from Gibraltar. This torpedo boat destroyer will leave port to C-Zone M2. That just happens. It's not something that Italy's going to declare war on. Then from A44, there's this task force. I'm going to take off this carrier and fighter and leave them in A44, but the rest of the ships are all going to move to M2. That consists of a battleship, 5 heavy cruisers, 2 British light cruiser, 1 ANZAC light cruiser, 3 British destroyers, 1 ANZAC destroyer. They will all move here into M2. And I asked, do you want to declare war with the Italians? He did not. So this guy will join this task force marker card. All right, then they move into M2, in which case the German sub could engage in 1 round of combat, but of course it doesn't want to do that. And then they will move over here to M8, along with the coastal sub will also move over there to M8. And then there are 3 heavy cruisers that are going to come off the task force card and go in port in Lower Egypt. They're on the northern half there of Lower Egypt. Okay. And then coming off that card as well, in M8, this Anzac destroyer will have one more movement. It will move down into I-5, and then it will go in port here in Lower Egypt. And this destroyer that's in Lower Egypt, the British destroyer, will leave port to I-5 and then go up to join the task force card. So basically, I switched the British destroyer for the Anzac destroyer. The Anzac destroyer it started off the turn in A44, and it's ending the turn on the lower half, on the southern half of Lower Egypt. Okay, let's move these guys up a little bit, give myself a little room there, and all these guys are in Lower Egypt. Okay, let's see, other combat movement. I'm gonna go over here. These are the moves involving the C-Zone A28. So this guy, a fighter from London will fly down, or not London, from southern England will fly down to A28, and a tactical bomber from Gibraltar, 1, 2, 3, will fly up to A28. They're not on map. This destroyer will come off escort duty. That's not something that the submarines can attack. It has to be if it moves into the C-Zone, and they're not moving, coming off map, or coming off escort duty doesn't move you into the C-Zone, or doesn't trigger the one round of combat. Okay, from A27, one destroyer will come off escort duty and move to A35. From A35, one destroyer will come off escort duty, and then these 2 destroyers will move here to A28. So now there's 2 aircraft and 3 destroyers, but they can't do anything unless Hambone chooses to engage me. They're basically there in case Hambone wants to try to hit this next move. So from Gibraltar, a naval transport will leave port. It's empty, and it will move through C-Zone A28. Wait, hold on, before I do that, I just had an idea. This fighter will fly there too. 1, 2. So I'll have 2 fighters there in case Hambone decides he wants to fight me there in A28. Okay, so both of those fighters have a range of 2. The tactical 1, 2, 3 has a range of 1. I don't think he's going to want to attack me as I move the Gibraltar empty transport there through A28. In fact, I think he already passed on that. So now the next move is a naval transport from A21 is going to leave port to, or sorry, a naval transport from southern England is going to leave port to C-Zone A21 carrying 1 Marine. And then it's going to pass through A28. I don't think Hambone's going to want to attack me. So that will bring me up to 3 Marines down here in Gibraltar. And then this light carrier is going to move up to A27. And the tactical will land, because it's got 1 more move, it will land on the light carrier. And these 3 destroyers from A28 will move over 1 space to A27. So it's going to be happy days for the subs next turn. I said these both had a range of 2. One of them has a range of 2. He'll fly to southern England. One of them has a range of 3 because it started off in southern England with an air base. So at 1, 2, it has a range of 3. So 3, 4, 5, it'll land in London. And finally, one of the fighters that's in southern England will fly down to C-Zone A22 and go on map. Not prepared, sorry about this. All right. Are there other combats? Let me double check. Okay, I think I got everything. Oh, no, good. This is why you should double check. Sorry for that delay, but I did write myself a little reminder. This is a Boston Bruce move. He pointed out that my cavalry can move 1 to Lubelski, 2 to West Poland. So just pulling a little Bruce poke you in the eye move there, Hambone. Courtesy of your good friend Boston Bruce. More creative player than myself. Having so much fun having him on my team. Okay, so that makes Britain go up to 28, and it drops Germany to 41. All right, that's my only... Okay, I'm glad I checked over, so I didn't miss that. And I think I have everything. So now we have non-combat movement. Up here in C-Zone A5, I know, Bruce, that you wanted me to convoy rate them, but I'm worried that Hambone might get frisky in A23, so these 2 subs are going to come down to A23. Give myself more cannon fodder there. Also from A23, the battle cruiser, or from London, 1 battle cruiser will leave to join the fleet in A23. Leaves port. And then I replace that with the battleship from Southern England. The guy from Southern England will leave port to A21, and then move over to A22, and then go in port. So I've got 3 battleships in port here. Is that right? I think that's correct. Okay. I don't like... one of these naval transports from Southern England is going to go up to Northern Ireland and go in port. Or actually, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I'll leave it there. Okay. So 1 is in port in Southern England, 1 is in port in Northern Ireland. Alrighty. What else do we have to do here? What's on my to-do list? Okay, I'm going to have a strategic naval move down here in Gibraltar. The Anzac naval transport will leave port to M2 doing strategic naval move, carrying 1 Marine and 1 anti-aircraft, and then move... I only have 4 units. He can bring 4 units. But he has bombards. Yeah, but I have fortifications. He has 2 bombards. 6, 4, he's going to the mountain. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that in Gibraltar. Sorry for hesitating. So 1 move into M3, 2 into M6, 3 into M7, 4 into M8. And I'll go in port in Lower Egypt on the northern half, and that's 2 strategic naval moves. The 3rd strategic naval move is this naval transport will go right back to Gibraltar. Oh, no, that's 3. I used 3. Never mind, sorry. Maybe I should have this guy. Nope. Could have had this guy. Caramba, let's see. Nope, I'm going to leave it the way it is. Okay. So that adds in here 1 Marine, 1 anti-aircraft artillery. From Western Egypt, the 4 infantry and the mountain infantry and this anti-aircraft artillery will all go back to Lower Egypt from Transjordan. This infantry will go in to Lower Egypt, so that gives me a red chip. So I think I went from 4 to 9. I'm just going to turn that into 11 because it's going to be a militia upgrade, or a militia upgrade militia, is the way I should say it, a MUM, and a colonial infantry will go in there, and that'll be 11. Let me take those off my to be placed. All right. From Lower Egypt, 1 medium bomber will move over to Benares. So 1 to I-5, 2 to I-4, 3 to I-7, 4 to southern India, 5 to Benares. From Maharashtra, 1 FEC infantry will strategic rail to Benares. From southern India, 1 infantry will move up to Benares. All right. While I've got that on camera, I'm going to put, I've got 5 militia to place. I'll put 1 in southern India, 1 in Bengal, 1 in Benares, and 2 in Calcutta. That's the most I can have in Calcutta is 3. From Calcutta, I will move out 1 FEC anti-aircraft artillery into Benares, and then I'll build 1 there, so that'll replace that. In Sea Zone P60, 1 coastal sub will go to P63. All right, is there anything else I'm missing? Yes, from Cape Town, 1 seaplane is going to fly to Lower Egypt. That 1 naval transport is bothering me. Okay, I'm just gonna, I'm gonna have it leave port. It'll be in M8. All right, sorry guys. Placement of units. I'm gonna put 1 infantry in Cape Town. So that gets me up to 2 infantry in Cape Town off camera. Sorry about that. Let's see if I can barely make it visible. Down here in Belgian Congo, I have a militia. In Cape Town, militia and 2 infantry. In South Africa, 2 infantry and a cavalry. Over here in New Guinea, I will put a militia. In Queensland, I will put a militia. And I'll add another infantry in Sydney, bringing me up to 4 infantry in Sydney. So North-South Island of New Zealand, 1 militia each. Sydney, 3 militia, 4 infantry, 1 motorized infantry. Queensland, a militia. And then collect income for ANZAC. ANZAC collects 7. FEC collects 16. They saved 1. They'll have 17 for next turn. Great Britain will have 33. 28 plus 5 bonus, 33. Let's look at a couple placement. We still have some placement to do for Great Britain. I'm putting that fortification, starting that on the border of Lower Egypt and Western Egypt. I'll get that on camera. But let me swing this way. Let's go over in Hong Kong. There's an infantry, Sarawak, a militia, British Malaya, a militia, Southern India, and a militia, Maharashtra, a militia, Calcutta, 3 militia, 2 British infantry, 7 FEC infantry, 2 Anzac infantry, 1 Gurkha, 2 Anzac artillery, 2 British anti-aircraft artillery, 3 FEC anti-aircraft artillery, and a fortification. I don't know if I said Bengal has a militia. Benares has a militia, 2 FEC infantry, 1 FEC anti-aircraft artillery, and a medium bomber. All right, over here in Lower Egypt, I have 1 militia, 11 infantry, 1 marine, 1 mountain, 3 anti-aircraft artillery, a seaplane. On the southern side of Lower Egypt is an Anzac destroyer. On the northern side of Lower Egypt, 3 heavy cruisers and an Anzac naval transport in port. On the border with Western Egypt, 1 fortification. In Sea Zone M8, there is a battleship, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 British light cruisers, 1 Anzac light cruiser, 4 British destroyers, 1 torpedo boat destroyer, 1 coastal submarine, 1 naval transport. In Malta, there's a militia. In Cyprus, there's a militia. In Gibraltar, there's a militia, an infantry, 2 marines, and a naval transport in port. In Sea Zone A27, a light carrier with a tactical, 3 destroyers, 2 American destroyers on escort duty. In southern England, I get to place. I have 1 militia to place. I'll place a militia there in southern England. Oh, and I want to move over this British infantry from London. I forgot to move him over. So 5 militia, this is southern England, 5 militia, 1 infantry, 1 fighter, 1 French fighter, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, a naval transport in port, and an air transport. In Sea Zone A22, there is a fighter on map. In Northern Ireland, there's a naval transport in port. In Northern England, there is a militia. In London, I'm placing 2 infantry and an anti-aircraft artillery. So there's 2 infantry, an anti-aircraft artillery, and 1 fighter. In port in London, there is a French battleship and 2 British battleships. In Sea Zone A23, there is a light carrier with a fighter, a battleship, that's a battle cruiser, sorry about that, battle cruiser, a coastal defense ship, a destroyer, a torpedo boat destroyer, and then the Dutch coastal defense ship and torpedo boat destroyer. And there's also 2 subs in A23. Okay, and I think I've, oh, Dutch. I have the Dutch recruitment roll. They need to roll a 1. 11. Okay. Free France. I have 4 IPP to spend. I'm purchasing 2 militia. I'm not having any combat movement. Let's see. From Sea Zone A44, I'm going to have the medium bomber come off map and land in Gibraltar. Let me make that change. And I'm going to move that French sub from M4. The French sub will move over to M8. And then I'll place 1 militia in Syria and 1 militia in Madagascar. Okay, so the Free French have a battleship in London. They have a medium bomber in Gibraltar. Oh, they have a fighter that is in southern England. They have a sub that's in M8. And a militia in Syria. And then way down here in Madagascar, they also have a militia. They collect 3 IPP. Next up is Hambone with turn 8.7, Italy.